obviously in great shape, with this confident smile that made me feel sick to my stomach. Everything about her screamed successful woman who has her life together, which was basically the opposite of how I'd been feeling for the past 2 years. Gary explained that he'd never planned for it to happen. But after months of feeling like his wife didn't respect him enough to tell him the truth, he'd started talking to this woman about what he was going through. What killed me was how he described their relationship. It wasn't desperate or secretive like mine had been. They'd taken things slow, built a real connection, talked about their values and what they wanted from life. It sounded mature and healthy, and everything my affair hadn't been. I became completely obsessed with her. I needed to know everything: what she looked like without makeup, what she did for work, where they went on dates, what they talked about. I asked Gary question after question until he finally told me I was torturing myself and needed to stop. But I couldn't stop. I'd lie awake at night imagining them together, wondering what she had that I didn't. Gary had been with me for 8 years, and he'd never talked about me the way he talked about her. When he described their conversations, his whole face lit up. When he talked about our marriage, he sounded like he was discussing a business arrangement that wasn't working out. The worst part was finding out what they did together. Gary had always been pretty vanilla with me, but apparently with her, he was way more adventurous. Things I'd suggested over the years that he'd shown no interest in, he was doing eagerly with her. It was like he'd become a completely different person, more confident, more passionate, more willing to take risks. I started asking him detailed questions about their physical relationship, which was obviously a terrible idea. But I couldn't help myself. I needed to know if she was better than me, if he enjoyed being with her more, if she did things I wouldn't do. Gary would answer honestly, which somehow made it worse than if he just refused to talk about it. Our own physical relationship became this weird competition where I'd try to be more like her, more enthusiastic, more willing to try new things. But Gary could tell what I was doing, and it just made everything feel forced and pathetic. He'd stop in the middle and ask if I was okay, which made me feel even worse about myself. The comparison was killing me. She had this amazing career, her own house, a car that was way nicer than mine. She traveled constantly for work and posted these gorgeous photos from different cities. Meanwhile, I was stuck in our boring apartment, obsessing over my husband's affair while she was out living her best life. The fights got increasingly nasty.